Clicks explains who its tiny communicator phone is really made for. In a smartphone world dominated by giant, glass-only slabs, it's rare to see a company deliberately swim against the current. But that's exactly what Clicks is doing. The company has built its identity around unapologetically gadgety products. Devices that feel intentionally different, almost nostalgic, yet thoughtfully modern. Clicks first made waves a couple of years ago by launching a physical keyboard case that brought tactile typing back to smartphones, starting with the iPhone and later expanding to Android devices. What many people initially saw as a quirky one-off experiment has now turned into something much bigger. At CES 2026, Clicks doubled down on its vision with two major announcements: a new magnetic keyboard accessory called the Power Keyboard, and a completely new standalone device known as the Clicks Communicator. A small phone with a physical keyboard and a very specific purpose. While the communicator wasn't fully demo ready on the show floor, I had the chance to see the Power Keyboard in person and speak with Clicks co-founder and former BlackBerry marketing director Jeff Gadway. His insights reveal a clear philosophy behind why these products exist and who they're actually meant for. The Power Keyboard, a smarter evolution of Clicks' original idea. At first glance, the new $79 Power Keyboard feels like a major refinement over Clicks' original keyboard case. Instead of being tied to a specific phone model, it magnetically attaches to any smartphone that supports SKI 2 and connects wirelessly via Bluetooth. The typing experience remains familiar to Clicks fans, but there are meaningful upgrades. The most noticeable is a dedicated number row, which makes the keyboard feel more complete and practical for real typing tasks. What really stands out, though, is the form factor. When the keyboard is closed, it sits on the back of your phone like a chunky wireless battery pack. But slide it upward, and it smoothly reveals the keyboard underneath, bringing back strong memories of classic slider phones like the Palm Pre or BlackBerry Torch. It's a satisfying, old-school mechanical motion that feels almost rebellious in a modern smartphone market. A keyboard that also powers your phone. The power in Power Keyboard isn't just branding. This accessory also functions as a battery pack, capable of charging your phone when attached. The battery isn't massive, so it won't fully recharge today's power-hungry smartphones, but it can provide a helpful boost when you're running low. What makes it clever is how customizable the power behavior is. Users can choose to use the battery only to power the keyboard, split power between the phone and keyboard. Reserve a specific percentage like the last 20% exclusively for the keyboard. In keyboard-only mode, the accessory can last weeks on a single charge, making it ideal for heavy typists who don't want to constantly worry about battery life. Physical keyboards, not for everyone, and that's the point. If you've never owned a phone with a physical keyboard, there's definitely a learning curve. The keys feel small, and typing requires a short adjustment period. But for users who rely on autocorrect and muscle memory, that transition may happen faster than expected. The biggest benefit is obvious. Your entire screen stays visible, unobstructed by a virtual keyboard. For some users, that alone is worth the trade-off. Still, physical keyboards are deeply personal. Some people swear by them, while others, especially those fully accustomed to touchscreens, may never want to go back. Clicks isn't trying to convert everyone. Instead, it's offering an option for people who genuinely miss tactile typing. Enter the Clicks Communicator, a second phone with a purpose. The Clicks Communicator is where things get really interesting. Unlike the Power Keyboard, this is a full-fledged smartphone, but one that deliberately breaks from modern phone design trends. It's small, squat, and built around communication rather than consumption. When Clicks first announced the communicator, the company said it was designed for people who carry multiple devices. At first, that might sound like a niche audience. But according to Jeff Gadway, Clicks spent a lot of time researching this before committing to hardware production. Who is the communicator actually for? Gadway explained that the audience is broader than it seems. corporate employees who are required to carry a second work phone, small business owners who want to separate personal and professional communication, European users, where labor laws often require employers to offer device separation, frequent travelers who need a second SIM, digital minimalists seeking reduced screen time and better mental focus. Individually, these groups may be small, but together they form a meaningful market. Clicks believes that when you add them all up, there's enough demand to justify a device like the communicator. Complementary devices, not duplicates. One of Clicks' core ideas is that secondary devices shouldn't just be copies of your main phone. As Gadget put it, modern tech already works this way. People wear both smartwatches and fitness rings. They use tablets for media and e-readers for books. Each device is optimized for a specific role. So why shouldn't a second phone follow the same logic? Instead of mirroring an iPhone or Pixel, the communicator is built to excel at messaging, triage, and quick interactions, not endless scrolling or video consumption. Design choices that reinforce the mission. The communicator features 8's 4-inch square touchscreen, a physical keyboard, a custom version of the Niagara Android launcher. Niagara uses a clean, list-based interface instead of app grids. Clicks' custom version puts messaging and notifications front and center, making it easy to quickly sort through new information. The keyboard itself is touch-sensitive, allowing users to swipe across keys to scroll, navigate, and interact with content. Blending physical input with modern gestures. And because it's still Android at its core, users can install any apps they want. Nothing is blocked. But the form factor naturally guides how the device is used. Watching TikTok? You can. But it's clearly not what the device is designed for. A niche product by design. Clicks isn't trying to sell millions of communicators. As a smaller hardware company, it doesn't need to. Its goal is simply to provide an alternative for people who want something different. That said, the communicator is a bigger commitment than accessory. It's currently available for pre-order at $399, placing it in the same price range as devices like the Pixel 9a. Once it launches in the second half of the year, we'll see whether this bold, focused approach resonates with users, or remains a cult favorite for keyboard lovers and digital minimalists. Final thoughts. In an industry obsessed with bigger screens and thinner glass, Clicks is betting on intention over trends. The Power Keyboard and Communicator aren't trying to replace your smartphone. They're trying to redefine how and why you use one. And for the right audience, that might be exactly what's been missing.